Welcome to the Embrace the Face podcast, where we celebrate all things weird and wonderful. I'm Allie Anderson, your host, here to bring you high vibe content and interviews for your highest good in self-healing and ascension. May these episodes bring you all you need in each now, and I thank you for listening, as always. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to another episode of Embrace the Face, where today we are honoring lunar ceremonies, the full moon in Leo, which did happen on February 1st. It is the 4th currently, but you can still feel those post full moon energies and vibes abound. This is also the perfect opportune time during the waning gibbous to really start to let go. Although the full moon, a lot of people understand that it's the time to let go of that which no longer serves you. The phase that we are actually currently in is the ideal and opportune time to truly let go. We also are in Aquarius season still, so this is going to be a really fun episode. I want to talk about this full moon, how you may be feeling in this now, because I don't know about you, but it was a heavy one for me. It brought up a lot of thoughts, old memories. I did a lot of processing and letting go. But I want to share with you how the work that I do, the techniques, the quantum, metaphysical, ancient, somatic healing techniques that I utilize in my everyday life, I want to help you to understand how they can also help you and give you a little idea of what all of this self-healing and ascension is like, especially if you work with Luna's phases. And don't forget that we are also, Neptune is in Aries, and we have multiple planets in Aquarius still. And as a triple Aquarius, I am both feeling so amazing, yet also I feel like I'm physically just fried. I feel like a lot of the Aquarius energy, I'm getting a lot of downloads, a lot of intuitive hits, a lot more light language coming through, a lot of ideas for you, such as I finally got to posting and getting online on my website the Sacred Box February's theme. These are monthly boxes that are going to incorporate their metaphysical hand-curated items, sensual products, yet also items handmade, such as oils and teas and herbs and spices for your highest good in self-healing and ascension. You can check out my website. It has the opportunity for you to buy a single item, or you can also subscribe to receiving monthly boxes, a monthly sacred box, and save 10%. So this is my exciting new offer, and please do check it out, or email and DM with any questions that you may have, or even if you'd like to collaborate, if you'd like to have your products a part of my monthly offering, please do reach out, and I would love to hear from you. So the theme of February, like I said, is sensuality. So you are going to receive a hand macerated aphrodisiac oil that is made with Damiana rose petal blue lotus flowers, that sits in black Jamaican castor oil and rose hip oil and jojoba oil. And this is an aphrodisiac oil for you to utilize topically as you feel to do so. And there's also going to be some teas, some loose leaf aphrodisiac flowers. There's going to be a vibrator. There's also going to be a crystal for the sacral, that Sadhisvana chakra. And we're just going to get you feeling that self-worth, that creativity, that sexuality, that sensuality, because truly sensuality, especially now more than ever, if you are living in the winter time, the northern hemisphere, you can be feeling the blues. So really tapping into your sensuality, which really is just to feel, hear, see, taste, and smell. It really has nothing to do with sexuality, although just because of who I am, I like to incorporate sensual Saturday into reminding you that sensuality, while one, yes, is just a definition about your physical senses, yet also it is about feeling free to be who you are and to enjoy self-love, self-pleasure, also to be, most importantly, in the moment when doing so. We can get so caught up in our heads, especially if you are an Aquarius or an air sign. And with that being said, the card that I pulled, of course, for a lunar ceremony at Embrace the Face is New Moon in Gemini, Think It Through. So this card is very appropriate for what I was just discussing, actually, which is why I segued into this. And the new moon in Gemini, of course, another air sign, being caught up in our heads, but also thinking it through. And that kind of was the theme of the full moon in Leo. So Leo, being a fire sign, is about that confidence. It's about that fiery passion. It's about feeling safe to be seen, safe to like be literally just in your physical body, and feeling safe to be the sensual version of you, feeling safe to just be the version of you who you are at your core. So for this full moon, with the planetary alignment of multiple planets being in Aquarius, including Venus, Venus is home to the planet of love, of course, relationships, and speaking your truth. For this full moon, Yasmin Bolin, in her Moonology diary, if you do not have it, which I have utilized for many years, she shared that Louise Hay, who is the founder of Hay House Publishing, that she was, if you've never read her work, she was very big on mirror work, which is literally the concept is looking in the mirror and telling yourself that you love yourself. Simply, that is the neuroplasticity. That is why Embrace the Face is called Embrace the Face. I literally changed my neural pathways back in 2019. I started in 2018, and by 2019, I was looking in the mirror, loving myself. And years prior, for my whole life, basically would look in the mirror and call myself an ugly piece of shit. So this stuff works, and this is a wonderful time. Even though it's a little bit post full moon, we do still have Venus in the sign of Aquarius. So please, by all means, tap into the self-love energy of Venus and your sacred box. If you do purchase yours, when you go to click out to purchase, you read the information about what February's theme is, you will note that I do discuss how this month is about tapping into that energy of Venus for relationships, for love. Most importantly, always self-love, right? To know thyself is to love thyself, is to heal thyself. And if you know who you are and you are healed and ascended, or you are in the process of healing and being self-aware and recognizing triggers and things and shadow sides that you need to work on, you can also then be your best self for an energetic match, one that is worthy of your energy, of course, and one that you have a vibe with, because chemistry can be undeniable. But it's important because relationships, especially romantic relationships, whether they're serious or not, is an intermingling of energies, is an intermingling of one's traumas and dramas. So always keep that in mind. And the reason that I bring this up is because the card itself, the Yasmin Bolin card, and I do oracle readings a lot, and I know I'm familiar with most of the cards, and I took a look actually today just to see what this card talked about. And if you're watching this, you can see the deck that I have. This is the Moonology Manifestation, Yasmin Bolin, and also this is her 2026 Moonology diary, where every lunar phase she gives pointers and tips. You can also journal in it as well. I also have my 2026 astrological planner and journal for daily journaling. Yasmin's is for each lunar phase. So this new moon in Gemini, think it through, basically states a positive outcome lies ahead, and focusing on that positive mindset. What am I expecting? That highest self, that highest timeline, right? We always want to envision and embody our highest timeline, what we came here to do, our mission to accomplish here in life, right? So it says that the card is especially good sign for matters related to a flirtatious situation, anything written, an upset you've had, or a relationship that feels blocked. Expressing whatever is on your mind is always a good idea, but this card also suggests you need to do some inner work and trust your intuition. You can call upon Archangel Zadkiel, who is associated with compassion and forgiveness, to help you clear past hurt that could otherwise block you. Call on the energy of the planet Mercury, which guides Gemini. Close your eyes and meditate on your desire for at least 5 minutes. What comes up, write it down. Her suggested manifestation affirmation is knowledge is powerful and I am powerful. And it also includes here, which is interesting, the ideal time to work on your magic is when the moon is in Gemini on a Wednesday, which is today. I always record on Wednesdays because Wednesdays is Mercury and Mercury is home to communication. So I love working. I work on my throat chakra every day, but I most certainly love working on my throat chakra on Wednesdays, tapping into the energy of Mercury to bring you the highest good in what humanity needs to hear each and every week. So I hope that you find this card. If it resonates with you, let me know. Leave a comment. Does it resonate with you? And let me know where you're at in your healing process and with relationships and speaking your truth. And I want you to know, so a part of a conversation I've been having frequently with my husband is as I do the work and I ascend, we evolve as humans. Every single one of us evolves. And people will come in and out of our lives always. Every single person that comes in and out of your life, whether it is for a split second, a greeting online at a store, or it is a relationship, or if it's a multi-decade relationship, friendship, coworker, however long, it can be a split second to someone you see on the subway to somebody you essentially spend your life with. We are allowed to evolve as humans. And I think that we carry so much shame in who we truly are, because when you shed those onion layers, right, we're coming to the end of the snake, the year of the snake, and we're coming into on February 17th, we're coming into the year of the fire horse. And I always tell clients, and I tell everyone, friends, family, my kids, like we are like onion layers. And if you crack open an onion, you could peel that shit for a really long time, right? And self-healing and ascension is a lifelong journey. You are always going to be learning about yourself. You're going to be learning about others. You're going to be learning about how you can be of service to humanity in different ways. Your tastes may change. Your leisure activities may change. And your ability to live your truth and speak your truth may change. And that is nothing to be ashamed of. And I'm in a mastermind currently with these beautiful souls, these women who are also entrepreneurs, spiritual entrepreneurs. And we were discussing today shame. Shame is the lowest vibrational state on the Hawkins energy frequency scale. Shame resides at 20 hertz, and that is considered a destructive energy. And when you are tapped into these destructive energies, such as feeling shame over who you are and how you live your life and how far you've come, and that can definitely bring us down in that 3D concept of being a human, right? The human aspect of our spiritual essence. And so it's important to remind yourself that neuroplasticity, to anytime these thoughts come through, to remind yourself that there is no need for you to carry shame, that you're exactly where you need to be in this now, that you are in no need at all needing to compare yourself to others, because we're all on different timelines and frequencies and we all have different missions. What you should be, if you're listening to this and you are self-aware enough to know that you are here to accomplish something big, that you are here to fulfill a mission that is bigger than you, that most people, if you're like me, you can't even explain it. I mean, I show up on a podcast where I don't even really know how many people listen. I can only see my Spotify stats and they're nothing to like, have a parade over, but I show up because that's part of my mission, at least in this now. And along our missions, we lose people in our lives. And going back to Venus and being in relationship, whether it is romantic or platonic, and listen, even if you're flirting with that person, you meet that person and they seem amazing and they seem like the one, and everything is going swimmingly, and then suddenly it ends. And that can bring heartbreak to the human ego, right? we constantly either blame ourselves or others, or we hold grudges against others if they may have wronged us. But really what it is, what humans need to look at is that it is all about your soul's growth. One, how are you handling it? Are you able to remain resilient? Two, are you able to process the trauma that may have occurred to you? Do you have an integration specialist? Do you have someone to talk to rely on, to get you through? I am quite spiritual, yet if I need someone to talk to, I'm going to make an appointment and I'm going to talk to a neutral party to gain, I go to somebody who's more on the spiritual aspect of things. But if you are in a place where you're just feeling like no matter what you do, these relationships aren't working out, or if you're perpetually single, I have a lot of friends and cousins and family members who are still unmarried, and they look at it as like they're ashamed of it. And you shouldn't be ashamed of that. That's your journey right now. And Louise Hay will tell you the same thing, actually, besides the telling yourself to love yourself because you're worth it, is to know that you signed up for just this, that perhaps your journey as somebody who maybe loving relationships don't work out. It's for your soul to learn something. And of course, it can be frustrating and it can be demeaning or hurtful in certain situations and relationships. It's all teaching you a lesson. So I myself personally, in romantic relationships, for those of you who know my husband and I have an open marriage, I have for sure. It has been, even prior to that, it has been since my childhood that I've always been the scapegoat. I've always been the one in platonic relationships or even a romantic relationship to be the one to just say how I feel. If I don't say how I feel, the energy eats me up inside. And it's like my throat chakra, it just like comes out. I have to say how I feel, or I feel like a bubble that's going to burst. And whether I write it in a letter or I tell somebody, and I've learned over the years how to do it in the kindest deliverance. I've made a lot of errors in discernment and judgment based on, I guess, not the greatest timing in doing in speaking my truth. But also I have stood up for myself recently, a lot more so than I used to. And where Allie from years ago would, crawl in a hole and want to die and literally suffer from depression and panic and anxiety, and everyone hates me and nobody likes me, and what's the point, and why am I here, and I don't fit in anywhere, and I'm always a misfit. And fast forward, learning what a triple Aquarius natal energy is, what a projector energy is, what my gene keys represent, and just who I know myself to be and who I've always been is just a completely and utterly misunderstood human who is trying to get people to wake up, to trying to get people to recognize that if I am triggering you, then what is within you that is causing you to, be triggered by me, to dislike me, to want to end a friendship, to want to end a relationship, to not even, to be completely honest, just like stop having you a part of their life because somebody has finally spoken the truth. And as my husband says, some people just can't handle the truth. And as awful as it feels to tell people how you feel about the way that they reciprocate, everything is energy and friendship is energy. If someone is not meeting you halfway, or they're doing hurtful things, or they're saying hurtful things, or they're completely suffering from a lack of self-awareness, it is always in your every right to say how you feel, to stand up for yourself, to stand your ground and speak your truth, as I always say. But with this energy, the flirtatious energy, or just the idea of speaking your truth in this energy that we currently have going on with Venus and the full moon just being over, there may be a lot of blockages there, if that makes sense. So now may not be the time to tell people how you truly feel, just due to the heavy energies and not the risk, but the idea that if you are a disruptor like I am and you are somebody who just can't help but speak your truth, right now may be a time where it may kind of blow up a relationship. That could be a good thing. I mean, yes, my circle has gotten incredibly small. I realize those of you, I'm sure many of you listening know I talked about it. It was just my birthday last week. And like, I really realized who are my friends, whether it's somebody who I've known for a year or literally people I've known my entire life in my family, or friends for over 20 years. And this year, not hearing from people who, as egotistical as it sounds, it's like this year I finally like realized, like, you know what? I have taken, if you have, this is in general, if you have taken so much of your energy to try and forge friendships, to try and just be there for other people, and you know that what you're saying kind of needs to be said, and they don't reciprocate, and they see it as a threat and a trigger, and they don't want to help themselves, then you don't need that in your field, is what I'm trying to say. And I think that energy, kind of like, be prepared if you're going to say something. It might not be the right quote unquote time right now, but even in general, no matter what time of year it is, if you tell somebody something and they don't want to hear it, just be prepared that even if it's a 20-something year relationship, it may be no longer, and that person may not be any longer a part of your life. And that's something that I've been sitting with over the last probably like 6 months or so, that I have to be okay with that. I mean, this is part of my evolution. I don't understand it. And if you're going through the same thing, you might not understand it, and it may feel really lonely. So that's why it's so important, especially now in the winter months, because you can dip low into seasonal depression. And I know a lot of people who just can't even get off the couch in the wintertime. So, and I think I shared last week as well, and I share on social media all the time, that movement medicine is so important. Good, hearty, healthy nutrition is so important this time of year. Tapping into what our ancestors did during this time. What did they do? They slowed down, they rested, they of course they had to, forage for food, and we're way more blessed in that regard. But it's just important to slow down and to take a step back and realize that even if your world feels like it's crumbling, even if those people who you thought were going to be in your life forever are no longer, or there's almost a power to that. Like, I know that I'm doing what I need to do for my life to bring peace to my life. And if they're not along for the ride, then I hope one day they'll come around. I hope one day they'll see what I was trying to do was just to get them to look in that mirror, to be self-aware, to tell themselves, to love themselves, and to not be afraid to look within at their own shadows, or to do the work and to do the nitty-gritty, or to plain just realize that I am not to be misunderstood, and neither are you if you are someone who can speak your truth. So that's kind of what this whole Aquarian full moon in Leo, because Leo is always just trying to love. They're always expressing love. I think maybe my tone, my deliverance sometimes can be like, when I'm really passionate about something, my tone can be extremely misconstrued as being like condescending or know-it-all. And that's not it. It's like, I literally just want you to be your best self. I want you to know who you are, to remember who you are, and to remember that, and I'm just going to say this, if you're walking around in life and your nervous system is on the fritz, and you're not happy in your life, in your relationship, and everything coming out of your mouth is just negative, then how is somebody pointing that out to you not something to just, instead of being angry at that fellow person, that light worker, essentially trying to awaken you to your true potential. And yeah, it sucks in the moment how many times I had been told in public and privately that I needed to stop drinking, that my behavior was ridiculous, that I just was not the person that I used to be, that when I was going through serious addiction with pills and booze, like I was not who I was, and I needed people to call me out on that. Or if I was just not in a good way, mentally, emotionally, I needed those people to come my way. And in those nows, it did not feel good. And it was like, what the fuck? Who is that person to tell me this? Who do they think they are? And guess what? Years later, I look back now, and those are the people who are still in my life. The people who told me to get my shit together are the ones who are still supporting me, still cheering me on, listening to this podcast, buying my products, reading my newsletter, supporting me. They're my friends. They're also, some are my family, and some are friends who have become family, because although it's a small knit circle, I know that I have those people. And if you are someone who just has these visions and these dreams that are so fucking big that nobody's going to understand you. And trust me, I get it. Like I said, as an Aquarius, especially that triple Aquarius, my personality is eclectic. My emotions are eclectic and sometimes ice cold, and I isolate. And then the way that I present myself is eclectic, and I'm out of the box and sometimes probably inappropriate to mundane society. But there is no shame in that. There is no shame in being who you are. And I guess to kind of end, I have been feeling so much light language coming through lately. And so I'm going to just go ahead and channel a little bit of that. I'm trying to think if I have missed anything. I did take notes today. I've been taking notes. I have shared over the years that my podcast is very channeled, even interviews, everything. Like I'll write down pointers that I want to make, but today I kind of really I just wanted to make sure that I covered all of that, because it all kind of interplays into the current collective energies. So if you are feeling this, if you are feeling the shifts, I've been talking with people who have been having time lapses. I myself have been feeling as though literally the earth, just hit my microphone as I'm trying to show how the earth is tilting. Like I can be standing and I just suddenly feel like the whole earth is tilting. And I've shared this for years, and I know I have people who say, yeah, I know what you're talking about. But yeah, this is just a time, make sure that you're utilizing discernment. Make sure you're staying extra grounded, because Aquarius season, it is an air season. So you can very much so be in that air space, in the minds, in the head. So meditating or even just grounding yourself twice a day, as I always tell clients, ground yourself twice a day. Open that heart center, get out of the minds, into the heart, ask your body what it needs for that day, and just keep going with the flow. Keep trusting your intuition. And I just wanted to also, before I go into a channeling, because I'm trying to block it from coming through, that if you are interested in purchasing any fire ciders, I did just bottle a new batch, and I have my pain oil also, and the 2 teas and the sacred box. So please do not forget. They are going to make amazing Valentine's Day gifts for friends. It's just a good gift. It can be for a friend, it can be for a lover, it can be for whomever. And it's the metaphysical, spiritually intentioned way to just live life having fun, consciously present, and in the now. And so it is. Sending Reiki love and light to channel through for your highest good in all you do. May you know that you are capable of superseding any transgressions, worries, or woes. May you know that you are so much more then you know. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Apologies, I kept hitting my mic because my hands just start moving. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think that I just want to close out saying thank you, thank you, thank you for listening in and tuning in. And if you resonate, please leave a comment, please reach out, please leave a review or leave whatever your little heart desires, because like I said, every episode helps me to grow when people listen and leave reviews and comments, and I'm always just so grateful. So, and if you'd like to join my newsletter, please also let me know. Please, I guess in the comments, go ahead and just DM newsletter, and I will comment newsletter, and I will be sure to send it out to you. Thank you guys so much. Peace out and God bless.